Hi, I'm Mark Langford, Master Career Coach and founder of C Synergy Coaching. And today I'm joined by David, who is an amazing VP of Engineering, who's here to talk about his experience with C Synergy in the Career Mastery program. So welcome, David.
Thanks, Mark. It's great to be here.
Why don't you start by telling us more about what you do professionally?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I'm VP of Engineering. I've been leading engineering teams for a good part of the last 20 years. My background is in electrical engineering, computer science, and also networking. And so over the last 25 years, I've been involved in startup companies and doing applied research for places like NASA, BBN Technologies, DARPA. And then I've also spent about a third of my career working at large network vendors.
Yeah, wow, you've had a distinguished career already. So, how did you get into this space, and what made you passionate about it?
I think from a young age, I was born an engineer. I just loved to pull things apart. I spent hours and hours in my grandfather's garage, working with heavy equipment like lathes and building things. And that transition, that love of building things and creating something out of nothing, transitioned into university. At university, I did computer science. I did electrical engineering. I went on to do my PhD in electrical engineering in networking systems.
Yeah.
And from there on, it's just kind of blossomed. And so I've enjoyed, as an individual contributor over the last 25 years, building things, and now more and more leading teams that are building things.
So what made you reach out for some career coaching, and when did you realize that you needed some support, and what were some of the key challenges you were looking to overcome?
So the first time that we first started working together was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'd just taken on this really challenging assignment, which was up until then the largest assignment I'd had in my career. And it was really just the exponential, the knee of that hockey curve as my career was starting to take off. And so I'd taken on this new role, and I was leading a team that was responsible for a platform that was being used by 800 engineers. It had about $1 billion worth of revenue relying on that platform. So you can imagine there was a lot of pressure, and we were moving very quickly. And up until that point, I'd felt pretty comfortable. I'd had a bit of training, management training, a lot of experience, and I'd managed small teams and, teams up to about, well, actually not small teams, but up to about 50. And then this new assignment that I had, I could just tell it was going to be the biggest challenge I'd had. And I knew I needed some help in certain areas. And some of those areas included, communication, like managing up, being able to, I've always been a very tactically focused, person, and helping the team unblock them day to day. But what I hadn't spent as much time doing was the more strategic focus, thinking more strategically, and then also communicating, the next year, the next 2 years up to the executive level. And I
Right.
really needed some help there. And that's when I did a search online, your name came up, and the rest is history. So yeah.
Cool. So would you say the Career Mastery program most impacted you? Like, what were the results that you got?
Oh, so there are a number, and I was just thinking back about how we started. I mean, first, you went through this process of just getting me to really understand what my goals were. What did I want to accomplish, and to be more intentional about that. The second thing that we worked on was the time management, which of course is really important. And so getting those time management skills in place, so helping me put a framework that I could use to manage my priorities and my time.
Yeah.
And then there was all of these other toolkits. As I think back, you just, well, first of all, just the talking to you and being able to describe the situation and the challenges that I was encountering, and then the feedback that you would give me, very objective feedback about the situation, and then also equipping me with toolkits and frameworks that I could use to manage some of those challenges. That was extremely valuable.
Yeah, yeah. And then we actually helped you with the career transition as well, right? Yeah.
And that has been amazing. So we just over the last few months, we were talking about the transition and about going through this whole, again, it was the frameworks, it's the systematic approach that you provided. So for example, going and doing some of these online assessments around personality assessments to see what are the things that I really enjoy doing, what
Right.
and helping with goal setting. The other thing was putting in place frameworks for being able to assess different opportunities. What is it that I'm really looking for? What are the dimensions that I'm going to be assessing any of these opportunities on? And
Right.
actually putting that in a spreadsheet, in a decision matrix that I could use to help inform my decisions.
Yeah.
And then most importantly, I would say, was the preparation that you gave me for the interviews. That was amazing. So walking through the best practices, and then
Yeah.
also familiarizing me with the STARS framework, which is being used by the companies that are top tier in my industry. All use this STARS framework.
Yeah.
So walking me through and explaining how to use that was really good, and then also coaching me and critiquing me on some of the things that I could do to improve my communication skills. And that just made an incredible difference to my approach. As we talked about during the process, I thought I was pretty good at interviews until we started talking. And then I couldn't, I was just, wow, there's so much that goes into this. And you
Yeah.
really helped me give a true picture of myself and a compelling picture of myself
Right.
to these folks that I was talking to.
Right.
So
And
yeah, so
what was the result of all that? Like, what was the outcome?
yes, so the outcome of all of that is in 2 weeks, I'm going to be starting what is my dream role at
Truly.
Amazon. So I'm going to be working there in an executive leadership capacity, working as part of Amazon Web Services, the networking portion of that. The team is phenomenal. I mean, this is a best in industry team that I'm going to be working with. My new manager is incredible, so experienced, so accomplished, and has such an incredible charter. And then the charter that I'm going to have is beyond anything I've done before in terms of scale. So you can probably tell how happy I am. And then the piece, which is so all of that. And then in addition to that, we had talked about, well, what's my dream compensation target? And we set a number, and we came in multiples over that number, which is always really nice.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
it's incredible. So it just shows, the power of being intentional, the frameworks that you provided me and the systematic approach, and then the practice and the coaching that you gave me.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm still pinching myself. I can't believe that I'm going to be working with one of the best teams in the industry on the largest network in the industry. So it's an
And,
incredible outcome.
and the fantastic execution by you.
Oh,
So,
no.
kudos. I'm so excited for you. I really am.
Thank you.
So if someone at the stage you were at when you started with the Career Mastery program working with me, if you were to talk to them, what advice would you give them about the program and coaching?
Definitely try it out. I
Yeah.
would say get on the phone with you, have that first conversation. And that's all you need to do. Like once you have that first conversation, it's just, so clear the many ways that you can help. So don't hesitate.
Awesome. Well, David, it's been an honor and pleasure working with you, and I'm really excited to see where you go next. And kudos to you for all the hard work you put into all this program. So, thanks so much for your time and insights, and I'm wishing you continued success and prosperity on your professional journey.
Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all of your help. I wouldn't be where I am now without the help that you provided me. So sincerely, thank you so much.
You are most welcome.